Okay, let's get serious because I think a lot of women and men can totally relate to this. Dating a narcissist. I think many of us have probably done it at one point or another. Dr. Paul DePompo is here. He's a psychologist, author, speaker. We love having you here on the Arizona Daily Mix, so thanks so much.
Perfect.
So you say that the narcissism in our society is rising as fast as obesity?
It absolutely is. In the 70s, about 2% of the population were narcissistic, and in a lot of areas in the country, it's up to 25%.
I find it so interesting that you say it's the best and the worst 4 months of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You say it's the best because we know that narcissists are charming, attractive, fun to be around. What else?
When you're in the room, well, let me tell you this. When a woman is ovulating, she is more drawn to the narcissist. It's some sort of evolutionary biological thing because
so it is a chemical reaction.
It is because the narcissist is out there on the prowl, charming, chiseled, really just wanting to give you exactly what you need to make that magical moment. He really wants to suck you in.
And what happens at that 4 month mark when you say it becomes the worst of times?
It gets gnarly because as soon as you get hooked and that narcissist knows you love them, game on for them. Because they get this angst inside and that charmingness turns to an arrogance. And the intelligent man that you liked turns to a know-it-all.
And it can become very destructive because sometimes that evolves into verbal or physical abuse,
Absolutely.
right?
Bullying, intimidation. As soon as they're not right or they're not the focus of attention, they turn on you. And in their mind, they're just looking for the next best thing.
So I want to ask you a personal question because I have dated a narcissist, and I remember I watched myself becoming this crazy girl because I knew what the classic symptoms were, and yet somehow it became a challenge for me, like I can change this person. Do a lot of people feel that way?
They do. A lot of people that fall for narcissists are people that are very good people. They're over-caring, over-nurturing, or maybe even in their family when they were growing up, they learned that for it to be real love, you have to work for it, you know? And the problem is that's like a Ponzi scheme because you can't work for it. The narcissist inherently does not want to be intimate and does not want to settle because settling for them is like death. So it's,
And they become this completely different person when they're around a group of people because, like you said, they're on. So for those of us,
their fuel is admiration. And if they're not getting it in the relationship and if they're not the top dog, then they're on the attack.
And somehow the other person becomes responsible for that, right? It's almost like a drug. The highs are really high and the lows are really low.
Right, and the problem is, see, the narcissist goes after the shiniest object in the room, and the thing is that a lot of good people think if I work harder, if I give more, if I do more, I could heal them. But the truth is that you can't. No matter how great you are, and everyone knows how great you are, someone like yourself, like the most intelligent, beautiful woman, could not change a narcissist.
Oh, where were you 6 years ago? Okay, so how do we avoid a narcissist?
Well, first of all, if you're dating or you feel like you're in love with a narcissist, you should ask yourself, does this person have the same qualities, traits, and values that my best friend has, right? If there's a discrepancy between your friends and the person you're dating, something's up, right?
Right.
But secondly, if you want to stay with this person and if you really want it to work, the most important thing is to have compassion and boundaries at the same time. For example, let me pretend you're the narcissist and I'm me.
Okay.
Catherine, I love you very much and I really want this to work, but I cannot allow you to talk to me that way under any circumstance. You have to have the compassion, but also the limit.
But I find that with a narcissist, they somehow find a way to turn it around and make it about you, and it's your fault I'm this way. Don't you find that?
Absolutely, because they really have paper-thin coping skills at the end of the day, so they cannot handle taking responsibility for anything, and that's their whole thing, is trying to flip it on you.
We have about 30 seconds left. If you can, just touch on how, as parents, we can avoid raising a child who becomes a narcissist and keep our children from dating a narcissist.
It's true because, the society is so individualistic now, it's really shaping a lot of kids to grow up to be narcissists. We're teaching our kids we're raising them like princes and princesses, but we're not the kings and queens, we're like the royal servants. So we've really got to gain control back and for example, give them age-appropriate responsibilities It's not just about doing well in school. They need to do that. Praise their values. Don't praise everything. Like, oh, you made a nice poopy today. Praise things like, you were really thank you for helping me so nicely.
Thank you for holding the door open. Thank you for saying thank you.
Absolutely, and give them choices. Instead of saying, what do you want for dinner, honey? Be like, we have fish or chicken. You choose or I'll choose for you.
Great advice. Thank you so much. Wonderful conversation. DrPaulDePompo.com is where you can reach him, and we always appreciate you being here. When we come back here on Arizona Daily Mix, how to sell your jewelry. Don't go away.